Now, as for the discourse around this match, and Tony Khan
Bless you.
tweeting that it was a dream match, which a lot of people objected to because they didn't know who Vikingo was. So, did you have to know who Vikingo was to enjoy this match? Absolutely not. Like, let me admit something here. When I started watching wrestling, there I did not have access to the internet. I had never seen a GIF or called it a GIF. That didn't even exist at the time. And I was watching WCW where they brought in a lot of luchadors in the cruiserweight division, and I didn't know who any of these guys were. And not only that, I couldn't look them up to get any information about them when they came out. Yeah, we had Mike Tenay on commentary that would deliver a lot of background on these guys, and he was amazing. But before, your first impression of them, you didn't know who these guys were. And it led to so many amazing, memorable matches. I just think that the more information that is available to us right now, like the fact that we can actually Google things, just makes people lazier. People complaining about this, I just thought was so silly. I totally get the idea that Tony is not that great at bringing in, like, let's say, the more casual fan, or getting that second million, as it used to be called. Like, there's a lot to be desired sometimes in his approach. Bringing in Vikingo for this match wasn't for those people. This was fan service to the hardcores who know who Vikingo is. And there's nothing wrong with him doing that. This was a promotion built on hardcore wrestling fans who know wrestlers from all over the world, not just ones who are famous on North American TV. So it is good for him sometimes to give a little treat to people like us. And putting Vikingo in there with Kenny Omega, if you don't know who Vikingo is, that's just a great spot to introduce him. You got a main event match here, which they actually managed to play into the larger storyline that they're doing with Kenny anyway. Everything that happened at the end of the match, played into the storyline that's going on with Hangman, the Young Bucks, and the Blackpool Combat Club. And they even wove in him having this match into the storyline, because earlier in the show we got Don Callis telling him to focus on having this singles match and putting the idea in his head that maybe it's best for him that the Young Bucks might be out of action for a while so he can be a single star. And then he got to have this awesome match where he showcased how great he is as a singles and won the match. And I mean, the last time he was in a trios match, he didn't win that match. And he didn't win the match before that either as a trio. So it was all well woven into the storyline. And I do also think that a lot of people that are overly complaining about this and just getting really butthurt that Tony Khan said dream match are mostly bad faith actors. There are things that you can criticize Tony Khan for with his booking or running of AEW. I think a lot of the things that deserve the most criticism aren't actually the things that we talk about. Instead, we get bogged down on stupid stuff that is usually just down to tribalism. These people that are mad at Tony for doing this or think he's stupid for doing it, whatever, aren't actually watching Dynamite. They're just WWE fans that want to shit on AEW. And Tony bringing in people for just big dream matches, fan service matches, is part of AEW's history anyway. Remember when Minoru Suzuki just had a match with Bryan Danielson, and that was so cool on a Friday night. That is something that AEW does. So did you have to know who Vikingo was to enjoy this match? Absolutely not. It's also sad that people not knowing who he is was just such a negative. It was made into this big negative before the show. Where are people's sense of intrigue? You don't know who this guy is? Great. Well, watch it and watch his match and find out. And I think Tony Khan using dream match was half him just being a promoter and half, him just giving a nod to those, if you know, you know. And it was a dream match. It certainly was for me. It certainly was for people I know. And I just think that the people that didn't know Vikingo, then they got to watch this awesome match, and he probably gained a lot of new fans. I would say that I think because the match was so spectacular, because it was definitely one of the best Dynamite matches ever, that they should follow up on it in some way. And that does not necessarily mean putting Vikingo on next week's Dynamite or anything like that, or us even really seeing Vikingo again for the next couple of months. But I do think that on next week's Dynamite, we should have like a video package showing highlights of this match and basically saying to the people that didn't watch, if you didn't watch Dynamite last week, maybe because you didn't know who Vikingo is, then you really missed out, because look at this spectacular match. And like, let's just add to the idea that you have to watch Dynamite, because you never know what you're going to get. It is so much better to have a show that you feel like is can't miss TV, because you never know what's going to happen, and all these like amazing unexpected things come out. Like a match with this guy Vikingo turns out to be incredible, than to have just something boring, formulaic, and us seeing just the same stuff every week. So yeah, Kenny Omega and Vikingo delivered us basically a 5-star match on our weekly wrestling TV show. That's fantastic. And Tony is not doing this, bringing in an unknown, shall we say, every week. And it is cool that once in a while he can deliver a dream match to the people that AEW was made for, and hopefully engage the newer viewers and broaden their love, appreciation, and knowledge of pro wrestling.